Hey there, guess what? We have something awesome to tell you.
We are so excited to announce that the Product Boss is officially part of the HubSpot Podcast Network family. I mean, I am just jumping out of my chair with excitement.
So excited because the HubSpot Network is the audio destination for business professionals, and their love language is the same as ours: business education. You're listening to the Product Boss Podcast, the go-to podcast for product business owners wanting to increase visibility and scale their sales while building their dream life.
We are beyond excited to be a part of the HubSpot Podcast Network family and locking arms with so many other highly respected business shows that sole purpose is to help small businesses worldwide continue to thrive and grow.
Like Goal Digger with Jenna Kutcher, the Success Story podcast with Scott D. Clary, and Online Marketing Made Easy with Amy Porterfield.
So listen to The Product Boss and more shows like us on the HubSpot Podcast Network at HubSpot.com/podcast network. Shh, can you hear that? It's the sound of the holidays. Yep, they're coming. Actually, you might even say they're already here. Everyone with a product business knows that this right here, right now is the prime opportunity to gain some traction in your business and generate significant revenue. And Mina and I, we want that for you. Okay. We want that for you. And that's why we put together the Product Boss's Guide to Getting Holiday Ready checklist. We call it a checklist, but it's so much more than that. It's your crash course for getting your business holiday ready so that you can have an amazing Q4, right? That's Q4. Now, we've packed it full of checklists, planners, tips, resources, and our very best advice for making sure you're ready and prepared for a successful holiday season in your business and into the new year. And my friend, the best news is it's yours for free, totally free. So consider it a holiday gift from us. Just head over to theproductboss.com/holiday ready. That's theproductboss.com/holiday ready to grab your Getting Holiday Ready checklist and get ready to sell your way through the holidays. Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we're dedicated to helping product-based business owners turn into revenue-generating, successful, happy product bosses. I'm Jacqueline Snyder.
And I'm Mina Kunosita. Together through digital courses, coaching, and masterminds, we've helped over 50,000 students from startup to multi-million-dollar businesses scale their sales while blending in their dream life.
It gets lonely out there in the product business world. We fully believe a business shouldn't be built alone. There's room at the top for all of us.
So let's get scrappy and creative together, Product Boss, to be profitable, make more sales, and grow your visibility.
Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hey, Product Boss. Okay, do you need a pep talk? This is Mina and I are going to be your business motivational coaches for this week and beyond. We know a lot of you out there are either feeling stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, not confident. There's a lot of different emotions and feelings coming up, let alone the holiday season. And so as you're shipping, filling boxes, working on those final tweaks to your website, making whatever you're doing, listen to us while we will give you this pep talk to get you through.
Yeah, it feels like Super Bowl for the product bosses, right? And no matter, even if you don't put as much stock into it, for example, you still have emotion tied to it, right? Because there's so many things that happen during this time. So I think we're going to chat it out a bit and see where it takes us. But we want you to know that we're here for you, supporting you every step of the way, and that we are, during this week, also having those things top of mind for ourselves as well.
So we're Jacqueline and Mina, and we are your product biz coaches and your motivational coaches for this week to try and re-inspire and motivate you and help ease some of that overwhelm. So we're going to talk to a few of you product bosses. First, we're going to talk to the product boss that needs that pep talk, because no matter what happens, if you're feeling that you're trying and it's not working the way you had hoped it to work, maybe you're putting out emails or promotions and it's not coming up the way that you had hoped, we want to talk to you first.
Yeah. I think this one is tricky because we all have expectations and emotions tied to what we want to get done. And then we also get, we fall into that trap of comparison. And especially right now, when you see other people making pies and you see other people, um, I don't know, doing all these things, playing all these roles, having all these followers, getting all these sales, you think all these different things, and you're trying really, really hard and it feels like a struggle. So this is who we were talking about first, and then we'll go into the other half of that coin, okay? The other side of that coin. So I think for anybody who's feeling that way, I want you to know that it will be okay. It will be okay. This week is not going to determine how successful your business can and will be. It is simply a week within your business that you are going to show up and you're going to test a few things out. And you are only going to compare yourself to what you did last year. And if you did one more email, one more showing up, you know, any whatever it is, and one more audit, let's say, then you've already improved what you've already been doing because now you did the hardest thing possible that's hard for 9 out of 10 people. And that is showing up to even play the game.
Yeah. So what we're saying is, and this is from my life coach, which is probably brought from somebody else, but comparing equals despair. So compare despair. The only person we want you to compare to is yourself. If you weren't in business a year ago for Black Friday, then compare to how you were performing last month. Compare to how many emails, promotions, subject lines, posts, orders you got. You compare to yourself. Let's not look to the right, the left, straight ahead. Don't scroll social media and like doom scroll that. Don't get into the Facebook communities and say, oh, this person's crushing it, I suck. No, you're going to improve upon what you do. Now, the other thing we want to bring up is that it's just data. All of these points are just data. You post on social media and you're not getting the results you want. Great. Your customers are not on social media or they're not as engaged. You send in an email and not enough people open it. Okay. You go to a trade show or you're at an in-person market and the traffic is really low and you're not making the sales. Okay. Then you saw that the traffic was low for some reason. So we just want you to gather the data. You test, you try, you mark it down, and you make changes the next time you do it. But here's the thing, like Mina said, if you can make one more sale, if you could send one more email, if you got prepared with us during Rock Your Holiday promotions back in August and September, and you feel super prepared, you're already ahead of the game. So keep just taking one foot in front of the other, step by step, and just do better than you did before. You're just racing against yourself.
Yeah. And in that case, you're comparing, when people feel compare and despair, it's usually because they have expectations around what they wanted to happen. That is the quickest way to feel disappointed is these expectations that you set for yourself that you feel like you can't reach. Right. And so for all of you, it's not that you need to be looking not at the expectations, but at the progress. So a lot of times, like when you're in audit, if you don't look at the progress that you've made, it is a slippery spiral or whatever that calls slippery slope into feeling disappointed because you're only looking at how you didn't meet your goals, you didn't meet your expectations versus looking at how far you've come. And I think that for us as small business owners, even the littles of wins are amazing because, it is a hard life trying to balance all the things, and do like you have the kids, you have, even you're a pet owner, you have plants, you have all these roles and all these expectations, responsibilities, all these different things. And I think that you already have changed as a person. I know you all have because you've gone through a pandemic. You've gone through creating a business and sustaining that business. You've gone through, potentially being our student or being in our community. You've gone through showing up live if that was really hard. If you've gone through, sending an email that you feel uncomfortable with. So all those things stack up to you working your muscle of doing uncomfortable things, and it will feel uncomfortable until it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. So if nobody has told you this today, we're proud of you. We are proud of you for showing up. We're proud of you for doing that scary thing of becoming an entrepreneur, of creating a product and trying to sell it to somebody else. We're proud of you for showing up and listening to a business podcast right now instead of listening to a murder podcast, right?
Murder.
We are proud of you for showing up for yourself and your business. And we're proud of you for whatever steps you're taking, whether or not you're hitting your goals or not. We're proud of you. Okay. So Jacqueline, Amina, you write this down.
Yeah.
We are proud of you.
Yep.
And hold that while you keep moving forward.
And you better believe if things don't turn out the way that you expected them to, that one thing that you've developed for sure is a thicker skin. And it's taken us years to develop a thicker skin, let me tell
I've
you.
only have thicker skin on the bottom of my heels, I feel like.
I know, and that's the hardest part. So at the same time, you're learning a bit more about yourself, a bit more about your customer, about how you want to live your life, and it, like I said, how you do during this holiday season, this Black Friday, this 1 week out of all the weeks that you've put in the work, it doesn't determine how successful you'll be. You're just getting closer to it because you're able to gather more data.
Absolutely. Okay, now we're going to flip the coin and we're going to talk to our product boss biz owners out there that are feeling super overwhelmed because they've been in business, they've got the flow, and this is their busiest time. They're getting a ton of orders, a ton of sales, maybe systems are breaking, maybe they have team members that aren't showing up or that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing. There's just that overwhelm that comes during the holiday season if this is your super busiest season.
Right. And there's an exhaustion, a different exhaustion than the person we were talking about, which is like exhausted in trying and mentally depleted. In this case, it's you're feeling overwhelmed with not having enough time, effort, energy because you're overwhelmed in all the things that you're doing for others, right? You're shipping out the goods that you're selling. You are living your life too, trying to keep everybody, moving forward. And I think that for all of you, I think you just need to take a minute, right? A minute to breathe and get some air and be like, okay, I know that I can take this next 10 minutes and the world will not stop spinning because nobody is going to, it's not like you're a doctor in the surgery room, okay? Or, I think that you can take a pause and know that it's not going to be the end of the world or somebody's life if you take the next 15 minutes to yourself.
Maybe go listen to a murder podcast.
I remember when I was going through a really hard time one time, and my sister was like, you know what you should do is you should scream into a pillow. And I totally could not get behind it because that wasn't how I released my energy. Like I've been taught my whole life not to scream. How am I going to release energy? I like to let that bottle up, okay? So so what happened is that I started to discover ways that I could just like put my body into motion, right? And before I would stop myself because, like sub-zero weather in Iowa, I'd just be like, oh my gosh, it's so cold out here, I can't go walking. Well, I would just I bought myself like leg warmers that I would actually put above my boots and, full body, like basically winter wear, and I would just go walk no matter what, and then also tread that I could walk on like if you had icy patches then I wouldn't fall down. And if that was the case that I wasn't able to walk on the sidewalk, I would simply walk on the grass. I know that sounds crazy, but this is snow we're talking about, okay?
Trust me. And now that I've moved back to Los Angeles, I will put on my flip-flops and I will walk during the holiday season.
Your flip-flops. Well, that is waiting for your toes to be scraped up.
Just joking. Because I agree. Like last year, I told myself if it's 13 degrees, if it's 0 degrees, I'm still going to walk. I'm still going to move my body. Yeah. So the way that your body goes into is fight or flight. You may have heard that, or fix. So fight, flight, or fix. When your body starts to feel that way, if you could move your energy into it, if you start to move your body, it's that part of your brain, the amygdala part of your brain, where it's like danger, like bear around the corner, and your body wants to run. It either wants to fight or run away from it. So if you can move your body, even if you just get up, you're feeling overwhelmed, you do 10 jumping jacks, or you jog in place for a second, or you walk around your house in like a circle and then come back, take that movement. But what we're trying to tell you is that you need to get your sleep if you can get your sleep. You need to make sure you're eating. Okay. So if that means that you're going to order on DoorDash or Instacart, or you're going to pay a little bit more to eat right now because you need to get it just delivered to you, you don't have time to do it yourself. We want you to sleep. We want you to eat. We want you to take some mindful breaks where you take some breaths, close your eyes and take some breaths. Meditate if you want, listen to an app. We want you to move your body. And you have for two people that we don't tend to leave our desks that often. But when we start to hit overwhelm, we know the things that we have to do to help us get through our busy seasons. As the product boss has grown, Mina and I have gone from being intensely connected and always knowing what the other is doing in business to building out a team and learning how to layer in different levels of communication among all the different team members.
We've learned from experience that when there's a communication breakdown between the different roles of the business, the customers are the ones who may suffer the most. And that's not what we want at all.
Nope, not at all. We prioritize and strongly value great customer experiences from start to finish every time.
Creating great customer experiences starts with having a full picture. And having the full picture starts with having teams that are connected. HubSpot helps your team stay and feel connected. They can finish each other's sentences, sales pitches. Yep, it's that kind of connected.
Yes, and the HubSpot CRM platform is carefully crafted from the ground up, designed to unite your data, apps, and teams in a single, easy-to-use system. So instead of wasting valuable time tracking down information, your teams can spend their time having conversations where it matters most with your customers.
Learn how HubSpot can help your business grow better at HubSpot.com. Mine is for sure quality sleep. And it's not just sleep, trying to sleep. I have to insert that word quality in front of all those things that Jacqueline said. Quality food. For example, if you need to inhale some oatmeal and you don't love it, get the best tasting oatmeal because there is luxury oatmeal out there, believe it or not.
Can I give you a tip for oatmeal?
Yeah. Oh gosh, sure.
I just did this for my kids this morning. Get some fresh mint, cut it up into little pieces, and take 1 cube of dark chocolate and mix it into your oatmeal. It'll melt the dark chocolate, and it's dark chocolate mint oatmeal. It is so good.
Your kids like mint. Mine don't like mint.
I didn't put the mint. I just put the chocolate, and only for one kid.
So my favorite oatmeal is by Mush. They're you can buy it at Target, and they have a chocolate one. It is to die for. It's so good. Another tip that I have is, since we're going to oatmeal tips, is that you take a hand blender and you blend it. Then it makes it, instead of chewy, it makes it creamy. And it's delicious. And it feels like a luxe dessert instead. Okay, so enough about the oatmeal. But what I'm saying is quality foods and quality sleep and quality movement. The thing that I noticed though, because I've gotten that tip before to do jumping jacks, and my foot. Remember, I have foot probs. # foot probs. So I wasn't able to do that. But one of the best things that I learned to do was this can sound so dumb. You flap your arms like a chicken. So the chicken dance, you flap your arms like a chicken. And this is especially beneficial for women because your lymph nodes and your breasts, if you have breast issues, let's say a lump in your breast, your lymph nodes, if you start, even if you do this right when you wake up in the morning and your movement is to flap your arms for 5 minutes like a chicken, that helps women, especially because of our breasts. So
please check with a medical provider.
No, I'm serious. I learned this from Instagram. It was a medical guy.
I learned this from TikTok. There was somebody who said they were a doctor and they told me to flap like a chicken.
Yeah. And that was one of his things. He's actually an oncologist. And he said that one of his best tips, because women, they need different movements than men. Mm-hmm. And he said that that's what he would teach a lot of the women, because if they weren't able to get on their feet, they could still flap their arms like a chicken and it would still move those lymph nodes, which you really need.
I'm just imagining now all of our millions of listeners waking up in the morning, flopping their arms like a chicken, and their spouses being like, "What are you doing?
Put on the chicken dance." Yeah. If anything, it will give you endorphins or serotonins or dopamine, whichever one it is that, we all need psychologically to give us that dopamine hit. Because believe it or not, when we reach for our phones first thing in the morning, that's a dopamine hit. Mm-hmm. That's why we need it. And that's why we're giving ourselves ADD in a lot of ways, is that we need that instant dopamine hit and we need another and another and another and another, So that's what I'm trying to do, is kind of, repattern my brain on things that I could be doing, of surges of dopamine or whatever, but also movements that I know that I would want to do. Because for example, when my sister was screaming to a pillow, I don't think I've ever screamed in a pillow in my whole entire life. I don't know if I could do it or that it would give me relief, Well,
but I think your point here is that we each have a different version of something.
Yes.
I did hypnobirthing before I had my first baby. And we're just gonna keep going into these stories. And one of the things that they were teaching us was because I was trying to have a baby without like painkillers
The
and stuff like that.
medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, long term, I'm like getting it in the back. But anyways, so it was sort of like this idea of, will movement help? Will physical touch help? Will making
Yeah.
sounds help? And each of us had a different thing. Some women would be like, oh, they'd like get that vibration in their
Uh-huh.
voice. For me, what I realized was actually like I would tap my leg. And so if anything's ever stressful or painful to me, if I like cause like a tapping or like I hit my own
Mm.
body, that actually helps me versus other people auditorily were saying something or other people
Yeah, or they
move their
scream.
bodies. Mhm.
That's what they call like warrior cries. Some people, if they're in fight or flight, they have a warrior cry. They'll scream. Obviously, I'm not a warrior of sorts because that doesn't release it for me. I'm
But
probably
you've
like
got your
you,
own
where it's
version,
like,
right?
yeah, I'm probably like opposite of warrior in the shell where you get beat down
You
sort
see
of
Mina like
version.
under the covers in a ball. No, but that's what we just want you to all pick for yourself. So for our
Yeah.
friends out there that are feeling overwhelmed, remember to sleep, remember to eat,
Take something off your plate
remember to
for goodness
breathe,
sake. Yeah.
move your body. We're giving you simple ways to do it so there is no excuse. Lean
Yeah.
on people, go to our community, talk to other people that get it because it's really hard too to be in this big launch mode and everyone around you is like festive and they're making the pies and they're doing all these things and you're like, I'm just trying to survive and
Yeah.
ship out all these orders. So find the people that get it. Which brings us to buy the pie.
Yeah, buy the pie. So this comes from kind of like non-negotiables of what is really, really important to you and let the rest of that ish go, you know?
Look at you all
So
trendy, like the kids say the
I
bad
know,
words these
right?
days.
I know. I know.
You're like, I have an 11-year-old. I know things now. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh my gosh. Believe me, she taught me no cap, but you don't know any of these,
I
believe
don't.
me.
My kids aren't,
Yeah.
thank God. They're
I was
still
like,
little.
no cap. What does that mean? She's like, like seriously. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way I even knew that lingo existed. Lingo existed.
So what do we mean by buy the pie? I'll tell
Yeah.
you, and Mina and I both, we come from, families that like food is so much a part of like celebration and our culture. And Thanksgiving is so much a part of that. And I think a lot of us have attachments to the way we show up during the holidays. So let's go to Thanksgiving and
Hmm.
say, are you my product boss that's super busy and overwhelmed hosting Thanksgiving now that you have a really big product-based business? You might be. Which is probably stressing you the ish out, as Mina says.
Yes,
No.
it is. No cap. I'm for real on this one.
So sometimes you have to look at this and say, is this the right holiday for me to host if this is a really big season? Or let's say, I know for me, and this is where the buy the pie comes from, nobody in my family eats pumpkin pie. I love it. And I would always make it. I'm like, I make the cranberry sauce and I make the pumpkin pie. Because of the things I want at Thanksgiving. Well, why do I have to make the pie during my busy season? At some point, it might just be like, okay, I want the pie to be there. I want this kind of pie. I'm going to go buy the pie and still
Hmm.
show up because it's not about me making it. It's not about the judgment of everyone else. It's about what is the main point? It's being with your family. It's being present for the time that you can be there. It's not about stressing yourself out to get up really early in the morning to cook while getting orders in, while trying to get orders out, while trying to run a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. So where can you find the ways that you can still show up and be where you want to be, but you don't have to make everything. You don't have to do everything, or you can take something off of your plate and just decide you're not going to do it at all.
Yeah, for sure. So, when you're thinking about those non-negotiables, if let's say you have a whole bunch of orders out and you're like, "Oh, I know I need to get these out within 24 hours." Can we please reevaluate that non-negotiable and say, maybe it's not 24 hours, maybe it's 36 hours or 48 hours, So I want you to reevaluate all those non-negotiables, because in your mind that might be like, this is the customer service, this is do or die, I need to get these out. But you need a minute too, right? So that's the business aspect of it. The other part of that is, when you're going to have your hard stop day. So that should be a non-negotiable as well. So you have kind of a light at the end of the tunnel.
What do you mean by hard stop day?
A hard stop day where it's like light at the end of the tunnel. So
Where
when
you're
they
not
stop
selling for
taking
Christmas
orders.
anymore, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they can do the same thing even for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, for example, that offer ends and it ends, you know? And so when I say hard stop, I mean for the holiday season being for Christmas. That's typically when I think of it, where it's like maybe it's December 17th or something, or December 16th, where you know that you're not going to be taking any orders, and your team knows. And you know that that is going to be kind of like the go dark blackout season of your team as well as your business. So that way, and then you can start to tell your customers that. So your customers are like, okay, I know that this is the last ship date by Mina and Company, and that I need to get my order in by now. And you know it going into the holiday season, so you can work your way backwards from that date. So when you're feeling overwhelmed right now during Black Friday, you know that, okay, I can get through this season, but I know that my hard stop date this year is going to be December 16th, and I can tell my children that, and my kids, we have, a pajama party, and, string the popcorn for the Christmas tree, or watch this movie or that movie, and you can set up your non-negotiables in that sort of way.
Right.
According to dates.
So this is for all of you out there.
Yeah.
Is just don't try to do everything. There are ways that you can take things off your plate. There are ways that you can shortcut. And then having the non-negotiables. I want to be there at this Christmas party, or I want to be done by 4 p.m. every day, but on these days I'll work longer. Come up with your non-negotiables. Come up with the way that you're going to get through this busy season. Mina and I, with the Product Boss, we have our big launches a couple times a year. And we have this last launch was probably the best one that we ever did, because we picked the things we were going to do and the things we weren't going to do from a personal level so that we can get through it. We also did the thing where we had DoorDash deliver our lunches every day. We had DoorDash deliver our coffees. So even if it was more expensive,
not DoorDash by us either, our team ordered that food and had it delivered.
But I'm trying to make it like that you can do it too.
I mean, you can do it too. But I liked that somebody else had to think about the fact that I needed to eat.
Right. So we didn't have to think about that. And now maybe most of you don't have team members, but when it's busy, you might spend a little bit extra to make sure you're taking care of yourself. You might take a little bit of time to do stuff. You might ask for more help, but we want you to just understand that you are a business owner and you're going to be blending your personal life and your business life. And during hard times, you are not a martyr. You do not have to again, we're not saving babies here. So you can create something that blends well with your life, and that you do need to take care of yourself. And no matter what, we're going to get through this holiday season together. You're all going to crush it no matter what, right? No matter whether you hit your goals or not, you're crushing it because you're scrappy, you're creative, you are you're doing things that most people don't do, which is being entrepreneurs. And we're proud of all of you. So we're just going to say that again. Mina and Jacqueline, we are proud of you.
Yeah. And I want you all to know that, during this holiday season, when you're feeling overwhelmed, like I said, for the first group of people, that it won't determine the success of your business. I want you all to know that the reason why you're in business, I want to remind you that it's because you want to live the life that you want to live. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling like I cannot do another day of this, I'm going to be burnt out, then that ultimately does not lead you or live up to the life that you want to live for yourself. So it's okay to, Jacqueline and I sometimes will go and we'll be like, what's 25% of our schedule that we can let go of? You better believe that's a fight sometimes with us
25%.
Which 25%. But at the same time, we know that because we feel that our bandwidth isn't enough, or we feel overwhelmed, or we feel all these different things, that we're not living in our true alignment or our true best selves, so our best lives, that there's probably something that needs to be evaluated. And so, during the busy season, it can get really hard. I say not to make too many major decisions for disrupting what you would do in a busy season. But at the same time, take care of yourself, outsource as much as you can, even if it's the meals that you're eating. And then have a date in mind where you can really you're working up to something. You're working up to the time that you get to spend with your family or your friends or your pet, or a time where you do absolutely nothing. I've talked a bit about my sunroom, but as I'm starting to build it, for example, there's so many people that are like, yeah, you can start entertaining in there and you could get this entertainment sectional.
You're
And
like,
I'm
that's your
like,
nightmare?
yeah, I'm like, I actually want, for sure, my non-negotiables in this space is a place to nap. It's going to be a creativity space where I have the time and the space. I want to be surrounded by my books, my work stuff, and my plants that I'm going to try to keep alive, and probably, like just a bunch of light and my art stuff. And that is really what it's going to be. It's not going to be a place where I entertain, because that's not how I live my best life, you know? And so I think that for all of you, you need to discover what that is in a busy season and on an everyday occurrence too. Because at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, we're living our everyday lives. This is literally, we're in the journey. This is, the destination is here and now, you know?
And it looks different for all of us.
Yeah, it sure does.
So again, we're going to wrap this with, we're proud of you. You are going to crush it no matter what, because you're always just going to work on doing better than you did yesterday, right? We're only comparing to ourselves and constantly improving. That's why you listen to this podcast. You're always looking to improve yourself in terms of business, marketing, mindset, all of that stuff. And we're proud of you. So if you need anyone to cheer you on, come visit us over on Instagram at The Product Boss. Send us a message so we can cheer you on and share your wins with us.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for being here and listening all the way through the Product Boss podcast. If you love our show and it has helped you in any way in your business, would you mind doing 2 things for us? Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review. Reviews help other product entrepreneurs know that this is the place to be to grow their businesses and realize that they're not alone. And we know that you all know that a 5-star and honest review helps you sell more products to more people. So you know that your reviews help us reach more listeners around the world. Remember, what we give is what we receive, and we are all about helping each other in the Product Boss community. We are all in this together. We would be so appreciative of you if you could take the time right now to subscribe, leave a review, and even share this episode on social or someone you know so we can impact more lives. And remember, subscribing means that you will get notified each time we release a new episode so you never miss a thing. You have helped us grow and climb into the top 10 of all marketing podcasts, and together we can keep climbing. Thank you, friends. And remember, there is room at the top for all of us. This episode is brought to you by the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge. We believe that when you purchase from a small online or offline business, your dollar goes further. Hey friends, Mina and I created the Shop 1 in 5 Pledge, and we're inviting you to take the pledge with us. It's a commitment to make 1 in 5 of your purchases from a small business, online or offline. It's a way to make an impact together where and when it matters most. Because the truth is, your purchasing power matters now more than ever. We're inviting you to take the pledge if you head to shop1in5.com. The link is in the show notes. And when you get there, please make sure to share the pledge with your friends, your family, and your customers. Let's invite everyone to take the Shop 1 in 5 pledge so that we can all use our purchasing power to change lives.